Thank you for coming. We've been planning this for some time and having to do a lot of, that's why we ended up having to do it today and not the second Tuesday, because they have a conference in Austin tomorrow, is that correct? And she's a guest speaker there. So we're glad to have you. All right, Jorge, you're on.
When we get there to the video.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I can. Okay. Well, it's an honor to be here. Debbie came to Dallas to visit me, and I talk a lot, so I was just telling about my experience going to Ukraine. Why Ukraine? I'm from Mexico. I live in the United States. Well, when World War II started, many years ago, the Nazis were doing all these atrocities. A lot of the world stayed still, and no one did anything. I'm not a soldier, but I thought in my capacity as a doctor, reconstructing faces, I could do something there. And you guys, this is a very special group of people for me. Why? When I finished my training, I went to school in Mexico, and then I did ophthalmology at Texas Tech. And I saw a lot of you guys actually are related to Texas Tech. And my wife went to Texas A&M, but her son chose to go to Texas Tech. When I finished my training at Tech, I went to Canada to continue my training in oculoplastic surgery. And then I had a commitment with the US government, and I worked at the VA in Big Spring, Texas. And I was there for 5 years. 3 by commitment, 2 by choice. And so it's an honor to be before of you guys, because I think if there's one group of people who understands war, it's you guys. The general population, sometimes when they read about it, they don't get it. I think this is just a great quote. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It's going on when you don't have the strength. We think the war started in 2022, but the reality is, Olga will explain, it really started years before. Like I said earlier, this is a picture of a lady walking in front of windows covered with sandbags. But the picture was not taken in 1939. I took this picture when I was in leave, and you can see how just changing the color of the picture transports you from 1939 to 2023. I'm gonna play this video for you guys. Let me see, give me 1 second. We'll have our expert here. While the video plays, so this is a video that I took from the internet. This is a video that I took from the internet. But the story, it's a true story, and I'll explain, I'll link the stories of how this is a true story. You know, we get a lot of stories on the internet that they're not true. And, but it's a very, very powerful message. How we got involved to going to Ukraine was that when the war started, I reached out to my society and I asked if there was a way for us to go and help in Ukraine. And one of the main past presidents of the society said that we couldn't cross the border to go to Ukraine. Fast forward a year later, I'm actually doing a surgery in Dallas on a Saturday, and there's another doctor from Dallas who brings a Ukrainian doctor, and they have been able to go to Ukraine. And that's how my story with Ukraine started. Try again. Thank
Зозуля кувала Правдоньку сказала, ой, що мого батька на світі, ой, на світі, ой, на світі, на світі не стало.
As you can see, it's just extremely powerful. So I presented this in a meeting in Poland last year. And when I was presenting this in a meeting in Poland, one of the guest students or ophthalmology residents, she reached out to me and she said, that story is true. It happened in my hometown. I know where the building where the Russians killed this young lady's father. That young lady, her name is Anna Maria, and then she'll come back to the story a little bit later. So just remember that name, Anna Maria. So we'll bring her back to the story. When we get the news, I was at the library this morning, and then I was watching, some people just getting the newspaper and reading. We read about war, we read about death, we read about injuries. And I have had a lot of interviews, Washington Post and other places, but they don't let me show the next picture. It's going to be brief. I'm going to pass it because it's not very settling. But I think if most people saw what war does, less people will be less inclined in doing it. These are two of my patients. I don't have, and I don't want to put one picture of who has been involved in helping with our groups going to Ukraine. Why? Because it's a lot of people, including logistics support, money, raising, doctors. So this is just a general picture of a lot of the people who have been involved. And as you can see, Olga is right there. I've been there 5 times since the war started. I've been going there about every 6 months. We prepare the patients. This is the last trip. One of the people who have come to Ukraine twice with me is my wife. And here we are crossing the border the last time. We're going from Poland to Kyiv. But to cross the border, you have to go by train or by road. And as you can see, we are passing these vans. And this is very interesting. We passed all these vans. We went to the front of the line. And the Polish soldier said, no, back to the end of the line. All right, so our driver goes back to the end of the line. There's a lot of 18-wheelers, a lot of vans trying to cross into Ukraine. Our driver steps out of the van and starts knocking on, this is 2 or 3 in the morning, and knocking on everybody's window of all the people crossing to Ukraine, asking them if we can cut the line. And he explains why. These are doctors that are going to help the soldiers. And everyone just let us cut the line. So we went to the front of the line. We told the Polish soldier, here we are, and we have permission. And we crossed the border. I took this picture there. Without the sign there, you could have imagined that this could be a picture of a concentration camp in Germany. Very eerie, crossing into Ukraine. Here we are. It's a long trip. It took us 48 hours from the time I left Dallas. It took them 36 hours now when Olga and Victor travel back here. And here we're just moving along. And finally we get to Kyiv. And then you get there, and this is what these people don't understand about the war. The city is like busy. There's 3-4 million people there. For every soldier that there's in the front lines, you need 7 or 8 people working regular jobs, restaurants, everything, because they need to support the war. The economy, actually, the GDP of Ukraine actually grew last year. This is one of the doctors that has been coming to Ukraine with me from the beginning, Stuart Seif. He is actually in San Francisco. He was the head of ophthalmology at UCSF for 20 years. His son is a Navy SEAL. And he says, my son has never had more respect about me since I started going to Ukraine. They actually have a really, really strong relationship because now the son understands the father understands the son. This is one of the pictures on the front page, Washington Post in 2025. And this is just another of the realities of the war, when you see all these soldiers who have given their lives, in my view, not just for Ukraine, but for freedom in the world. For freedom in the world. But like I said, freedom is not free, as you guys know. This is a hospital where we work in Ukraine. And we have this application on our phones that they tell us in real time where the rockets are coming. So here we are. This is later that night. Now the whole country is on the edge, right? So we go to the shelter, and we talked this story earlier in our table. And so Olga says you only need to go to the shelter if I tell you, because sometimes the rockets are not really coming to Kyiv. As you see, we're really walking to the shelter. And why? Because I called Olga, hey, should we go? I said, well, do you have a wheel? I said, yes, as a matter of fact, I did it before I came to Ukraine. I said, well, am I on it? I said, no, you go to the shelter. I amended the wheel, by the way. So every single flag represents a soldier who has given their life. I grew up in Mexico, so we have some Mexican soldiers who have donated their time, and then some of them they have given their lives. I went to Canada. It's another country that is very special to me, Canadians, and of course Americans and people from all over the world who have given their lives for Ukraine. You can see this handsome man, it was like you can see he's in a ski slopes. We were, all skiing this winter, and then this guy, unfortunately, sustained a horrible, horrible injury. You'll see in a minute. But this is his Instagram account. He has 70, almost 82,000 followers. There's more now. My stepson, my wife's oldest son, he decided on his own to go to Ukraine to help with the drones. Unrelated to my work there. He moves to Ukraine. He's helping with the drones. He reaches out to this guy because he says that he needs some help with his face. And this is actually the actual text that they were texting each other on Instagram. My mom's husband is going to come. He can help you with your eyelid. I admire your bravery. So he comes, and we see him there. His name is Nassar. And you can see the left eye. He's missing the left eye, but he cannot even wear a prosthetic eye. The drone, when he was coming towards his face, he put his hands like this, and he lost both hands and his left eye. So Nassar, we did surgery with him, but this is where Anna Maria comes along again. Anna Maria, the one I told you earlier, she asked me in that first trip in Poland, can I join you in one of your trips? Of course, we are willing to learn, to teach the ones who want to learn. So she comes, and this is Anna Maria operating. We're teaching her how to do the surgeries. So Anna Maria, that is now dating Christopher. So now we are a big family. So, and this is Anna Maria operating with another one of our young students, Marina. And here we are operating together. And that's one of the things, though. Yes, going to Ukraine and helping has been great, but the best thing for Stuart and I, it's been that we are leaving a legacy behind. We're teaching the younger doctors who will be taking care of the future of their country. This is Nassar. That's before and after the surgery. And as you can see, he's going to be able now to wear a prosthetic eye. But when we got a CT scan of his face, it's not that he has his face destroyed. He has something on his cheek. We're removing that something on his cheek is a chip of the Russian drone that hits his face. So that was sent, of course, to evidence to the Ministry of Defense. And here we are with Anna Maria and Nassar. And he is still, doing everything he can. His attitude is absolutely amazing, though. He's still preparing his weapons. He is here now in a museum. And watch this.
За люблю Італію, що тут навіть стати з ампутаціями. Все інклюзивно.
It's almost making fun of his own hand. And then his attitude is absolutely incredible. He got a trip to go to Italy with his wife. His wife has been by his side the whole time. And look, this is him just before. No, this is not now, I'm sorry, but I wanted to show you how he was before. And but I want to show you something here.
Всі ми разом.
Дякую вам.
Вам
Це дуже-
дякуємо
це
за
He is now getting his prosthetic eye. Watch this story real
So
quick.
here we are. We did a surgery yesterday. He couldn't wear a conformer or even a prosthetic eye because he didn't have a lower eyelid. So rebuilt his lower eyelid yesterday, and he's looking pretty good. And he was injured. Can you tell us briefly how was the injury?
Чи можете коротко розказати, як стався вибух? Як це все сталося?
Насправді я впав з велосипеда, я вже казав.
As he said, he fell from the bicycle.
Але якщо
So here we are.
So when he left, I just told him to be careful with the bicycle next time. The experience in Ukraine, I tell people, is my life before Ukraine, my life after Ukraine. This is another beautiful city in Ukraine. It's called Lviv. And it's just absolutely one of the most beautiful cities I've seen. And in Lviv, we've had the experience of going and helping the soldiers in Kyiv, but we also had a separate trip that we also do when we go to Ukraine. And this is a quote from Shakespeare. I cried when I had no shoes, but I stopped crying when I saw a man without legs. Life is full of blessings. Sometimes we don't value it. So these are the prosthetic legs of this young man who stepped on a mine. He also has problem with his eyes, that's where we stepped in and we're helping. And then here is David before one of his surgeries, though. And as you can see, he's there with his prosthetic legs. And he's 16. He has a great attitude, but as you can see, he still has a long ways to go. And this is him in the operating room, and we're doing some surgery on his eyelids. But you can see it's pretty heartbreaking to see his legs. My wife told me, your stories about Ukraine are pretty amazing, but maybe you can finish with a little lighter story. And one of the things we're doing in Ukraine is we're helping also children with chronic problems, droopy eyelids. So this is a young girl. Her name is Zlata. Zlata means golden in Ukrainian. And then we did a test to see what kind of surgery we needed to do. And the next picture is 1 day after her surgery. So we were able to raise her eyelid. And you can see Zlata 1 day after her surgery, though. And this is Zlata, very, very happy. She's now at an age that, that aesthetics are important to her, how she looks. And this is here with Zlata. I took this picture. One of the Ukrainian residents was wearing them, these socks, brave like Ukraine. During this past Olympics, like always controversy, this athlete from Ukraine, he was wearing this helmet honoring, he didn't even say anything, just pictures of previous athletes who have been killed in the war, and the International Olympic Committee banned him from competing. They gave him, you can wear a red arm, like a band or something like that, and he said, no, I want to wear this helmet. He said, why the other people, a lot of people are allowed to do all the things, why I'm not allowed to? It doesn't say anything about Russia, it just says pictures of friends of mine who died in the war. Interestingly enough, he actually was one of the few athletes in this past Olympics that was a contender for a medal. One of the few athletes from Ukraine. And he stood his ground. They don't let me to compete. I am not competing. So hats off to him, though. Slava Ukraini is a slogan in Ukraine. It's responded with Heroyam Slava, which means glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. And I told you earlier is that one of the things we do is this now teaching the younger doctors, right? I found this quote in one of the hospitals that I work at. And it says, if you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you are determined to stop, no one can stop you. And that's what I think about Ukraine. Thank you so much for listening to our stories today.
Olga's going to come up and share her story, which is phenomenal. Not that Jorge is not phenomenal, but also.
Okay. Wait, I have to connect my phone.
I never want to thank Aaron. He's always here to help take care of all the IT stuff. So Aaron, thank you so much. You do a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, just. Hi, everyone. My name is Olga. I'm a doctor from Ukraine, and I'll share a little bit about the story of us living during the war, because my grandfather was a part of World War II, and he's been a doctor as well as been a general surgeon. And I've never realized that the stories that he told me would actually repeat itself. So this is one of the movies, and it's a documentary about the
Мною
beginning
принято
of war.
решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
Just hours ago, Russian forces began their attack.
Kyiv might soon fall to Russian forces.
The Russians will take control of Kiev.
Within 24 hours.
The Russian force is so much larger than the Ukrainian one.
It's not a question of if Russia takes the capital, it's a question of when.
Я залишаюсь в столиці.
Can the Ukrainian people stand up?
Ну, максимум 3-4 дня.
This is day 6.
On the 10th day, day 22,
Day 33.
78.
Kiev is still standing strong.
Це такий ремейк відомої саги про Давіда і Голіафа.
Putin made a strategic error. The Ukrainian soldiers are fighting for their land.
The Ukrainians want to win this fight.
The Russians have lost about 3 times as much heavy equipment and at least twice as many troops.
Putin did not have much to celebrate on his victory day.
So this is actual documentary that has been made, and Victor here has been part of it too. So I'll try to find it in English, and I'll definitely send for you to watch if you want to. So a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Kyiv, Ukraine, and I'm a PhD. I'm a reconstructive surgeon. I'm an associate professor at one of the universities, and I've been living in Ukraine my whole life. And when the war started, I decided to stay. I decided to stay because this is my home. If you want to leave your home, it should be on your terms, not when someone's kicking you out. So this is something that I decided to stay. And for me, it's really very hard. When I look at these videos, when I do these talks, it kind of brings me back to the beginning of all of it, which seems even now for me very surreal. Because, realizing that we live in a situation where we live at war, like Dr. Corona said, you have to write your last will because you never know. We do have our humor, like we have the curfew. Sometimes it's really good, especially for dating. But on the contrary, it takes time. And when people ask me how we live, we actually live a somewhat normal life apart from the bombing. So this slide is I think it's very special because this was my last surgery. So I do cataract surgery as well. This was my last surgery that I did in a free country. And this is the day after where I see my patient, and the evening after and the morning after, I was sitting in a basement with my sister and her nephews because Kyiv was being bombed. And when I woke up, the funny story is when I woke up, a friend of mine calls like, Olga, get out of the house. The war started. I'm like, oh, I have my patients today. I'm like, I'm going to get out a bit later on. It's like, no. I'm like, oh. So, and I look at my phone. I'm like, oh my God, has someone jammed my connection? Then I ended up calling my sister and became true. So the realization of everything that the war has started has been very very surreal. So today is February the 3rd. It's -15 outside. And walking past the building that was bombed last night, which is a little bit of a couple of meters away from my house. It's the same building, which is... you can see it's right there. And there's a lot of shattered glass here and a lot of smoke, so this is Russia's peace. So when we say that we operate during the sirens and alerts and everything, we do. And one of the things that impressed me very deeply when Dr. Corona came to Kyiv the first time, and I could say he's one of like two surgeons, another one was Dr. Stuart Seif, one of two oculoplastic surgeons that were not afraid to come to the capital, which is dangerous because I cannot guarantee his safety. And so the first time we were operating together and we had the sirens and we're in the middle of the surgery. And usually, some people leave, I can't leave my patient. He's under general anesthesia. He's a soldier, he had enough. And Dr. Corona, everyone comes in, it's like, you should go to the shelter. And then he looks at me and goes, are you staying? I'm like, well, yeah, I can't. This is my duty here. He goes, then I'm staying with you, which that gave me a realization. We're not alone. Yeah, he's there to fight for us, to fight for my country, to fight for my people, and that has been incredible. So since the war has started, we've been traveling all over Ukraine. So Ukraine is basically the size of Texas, and we consider us the Texan people of Europe because we're tough, and we're kicking everyone out of our house because it is our house. You wouldn't want a Russian living in your living room, right? So do we. So I operate in different parts of Ukraine, the western part. This is one of the cities where I operate, which is about 30-40 miles away from Russia's border. And this is the place which has been very this is place where the front line is, and this is one of the places where my husband served. So you can see him here. He's a first lieutenant and a wonderful man that I love very much. And he's a hero and a veteran. So he has been all the way from the front lines, and his logistic company has been helping bring the ammunition and evacuate people. Another, as I say, side hustle that he does is he made a factory. So he takes Russian tanks, he fixes them, puts Ukraine on it, and sends it back to the front lines. I think that's amazing. So let's give him an applause. So you can see this is what he does. So he fixed all of those cars, and you can see that's him bringing them back to the front line. So he's doing an amazing, and it still works. So he's doing an amazing job. And this is the real life video. So this is me walking my dog on a Saturday morning. And this is the sound. You can hear the sound of the shahed. So that sound of the shaheds, of the drones flying, that's how you hear it in the night. And but life goes on. We still operate. No electricity. We got the generators running. Hear me doing my tick, 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 which is a cataract surgery. and it's one of the cold winters, so it's a little bit cold. So the generator works for a microscope, for everything. All of my patients have been amazing. So none of my patients have canceled surgery because of the bombing. So we get bombed, they call me, it's like, excuse me, we're getting our surgery today, right? We're gonna be a little bit late. I'm like, it's okay, we're all late, we're all fine. No heating, we turn off the oxygen, you know that we can't have any fire in the OR, but we have no choice because we have to have the liquids and viscoelastics going. So we have the gas heater there just for us to heat because it gets a little bit cold. Another evening out, and this is me and my friends sitting in my in the hallway because this is the New Year's actually, like the second picture is the New Year's because we celebrated it, went to sleep, we woke up, and that's my dog. She's really, really cute. So sometimes when you look at it, it's like a computer game. So it's something real life videos. These are all videos been from a few days. So apart from that, people have been incredible. People have been supporting each other. Communities have been supporting each other. Ukraine has changed so much, and you'd be surprised how people, the attitude of people, you know, having all those jokes, you know, like with the last spill of Dr. Corona. I mean, but it's true. It's true. So now he's making me learn Spanish to be on that well. And this is one of the hospitals I worked, and it is in the first few days it's been bombed, so it's beyond repair. So whenever you have a question, should we give up our land? There should be a question whether we should give up our land. This is a very great example of what Russia does to my country. It burns everything to the ground. Like make them, we think of them like the orcs from Lord of the Rings. If you all have read that book, and you can see this is one of the small pretty cities. You can see all the parks there in the city, and this what happened in 4 years. So it's gone. So it's gone beyond the repair. And that kind of gives you an idea. They don't want just to take the land. They want to destroy it, because you wouldn't destroy something you want to build on. This is beyond repair. And in other cities, a lot of cities have been destroyed. People have moved. Russia has shot over 8,200 missiles to Ukraine. And it's been hospitals, houses. You can see the shelters that were set up in the gym of different hospitals. We come together and help people. We come together to help each other. For instance, in my house with my neighbors, we have a thing that if we are on total blackout, we take everything that we have from the fridge, some alcohol, of course, and we go over to our neighbor's house because he has the biggest house and he has all the generators. We all do have their generators, but we're like saving the energy. So we sit there and because the radio is gone, the connection is gone. Now it's a bit better, but the first winter was pretty tough. I even have the analog radio, you know, the one that you go that. It was my grandpa's and still works. I put in a new battery because nothing else would work. And you could see. So this is an amazing, an incredible picture and a video. Russia has bombed one of the children's hospitals a year ago, last year. And they bombed it. You can see they bombed it really, really hard. Some of my friends were operating there. But you can see all of these people. This is not the staff of the hospital. These are the citizens of Kyiv that they didn't even have a question when or how. They just went there and started helping, taking out the debris. They started bringing water. They started bringing food, shelter, clothing for kids. Fortunately, nobody has died, but the hospital has been destroyed and they're rebuilding it slowly and slowly. But everybody, there are a lot of videos, a lot of soldiers, people, wounded people, like with prosthetic legs and arms, came there to help. And tough times have tough presents. So you can see here, does anybody know what that is right here? Exactly. And it says from Olga Denisuk. So it was one of my first birthdays during the war, and a friend of mine, she asked me, "It's like, what do you want for your birthday?" And I'm a little bit depressed, like it's war and want peace. So I'm like, you know what? I want a big rocket and shoot it to Russia and just have like a big swimming pool there. We'll figure out how to do it, but and so she's like, I'll think of what to do. So her father and her brother is at front lines, and she sends me this. She goes, my family's giving you, like, not maybe a big one like you asked for, but at least it's something. So this one's actually ended up shooting to its Russia show. So this is a great idea. This is me again. You can see the gas heater in the OR. So we had to make sure that the oxygen is not there and we're not using anything. So back to the good part, and I'm going to, like, make it a little bit nice now. So one day I get called and we're saying, oh, this group of doctors are coming to Kiev. I'm like, really? I'm like, why? And it's dangerous. And, they've been coming to different safer parts of Ukraine. But then I meet Dr. Corona, I meet Dr. Stuart Seif, and they're like, we're here to help. And we're like, we don't know. And, we were worried. Maybe we weren't good enough. Maybe they weren't good enough. You never know. But we went to the OR and we clicked. It felt like we worked together our whole life. These guys were not afraid to come to Kyiv. They reminded us that people still care, that we have support and they're there to work with us. And that started a beautiful friendship, and now they got the Ukrainian family they never wanted. Maybe now they do, but and you could imagine how many different organizations and how much power it takes to create something. So we have Ed's Friends, we have Leave Global Mission, we have Christian Medical Association, and people it started with a small trip, and now it grew into an amazing educational organization that not only changes my life, it changes the life of younger doctors, changes the life of our soldiers. And we have now amazing people. The soldiers that already did their surgeries, they come in and it's like, oh, is Dr. Corona and Dr. Seif coming? Can we come and say hello? So they come in and they say hello. And this is a very special picture I want to point out. So this is one of our very senior nurses. And we work in a hospital that my grandfather has built. So this nurse came in and she goes, are you Olga? I'm like, yes. So what happened is she worked with my grandfather. She worked with my mother. And she ended up working with me. She's somewhat over 80. She doesn't know any English. But Dr. Corona, did you have any trouble? Zero. She understood everything perfectly. She is an amazing nurse, and this is Dr. Dave Russell, another of oculoplastic surgeons. That he has 2 kids, and he still came to Kyiv to operate with us, and we became an amazing team. Working, it's a multidisciplinary team. It's a big family now because we work with our MaxFace. We have microsurgical surgeons come in, and it's been incredible. The patients, our soldiers, get this light on their face when they see American doctors come in and help them. And the patients that they come in very grumpy, and now they come in, it's like, are they coming? Can we come in and give them a hug? Which is like, you wouldn't see that from a soldier, They would come in and bring presents and patches. You can see Dr. Seif here, he has a bag of presents. Guess what bag of presents are? Some of the consumables and sutures and things like that. So they do know how to make a girl happy. So because sometimes we have things, sometimes we don't. And at the beginning, we didn't have anything. Logistics were wrong, and we're trying to work it out. But then now we have everything going. We do full-scale surgeries. We do everything. And our patients are extremely happy. I'm very proud to say that our Ukrainian association is now a reciprocal association of American Society of Ophthalmic Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery. It's been an amazing thing. We're the only one from Ukraine. So we do great things. These are my patients. You can see, I won't show the pictures that were too bad, but this patient, they come in. We have this man. You can see that he's been patched and picked and put together like a puzzle, like a jigsaw puzzle. But the front lines, they don't have the time. They don't have the evacuation. Sometimes they don't have the possibilities to do big reconstructive surgeries. And he came in with his wife, and he wouldn't be smiling. He would be one of those patients, he would be constantly smiling. Well, his wife would text me almost every single day, but you can see him right now. This is how he looked before, and this is how he looks after. He is so happy. His grandkids are not afraid of him anymore. He can go out in the public and, people wouldn't look at his face and say, oh, like, what's that? So, as Jorge says, we restore their humanity. We restore their belief in themselves, because you can hide the scars under your clothing. You can have a prosthetic hand or leg or both, but you can't do anything on the face. So we try to give them back their life. This young man has unfortunately lost his eye. He was in captivity for a very long time, and they never took care of him there. So he lost some of his fingers, he lost an eye, and this is how he came in. You can see that there was no eye, and the eyelid was stuck to his place where he had. So this is him now after the surgery, and he lost his prosthetic eye because he was diving into the water. And he calls me, he's like, can I get a new one? I'm like, what happened? We just got you a new one. And he goes, well, I was diving and kind of fell out. I'm like, oh my God. So, they still end up having a lot of fun. This young man here is another patient of ours, and he's still very reluctant about his face. But you can see this is about 1.5 years of work. You can see that his face, of course, is never going to be the same as it was, but we're giving them a belief that we're there for him. And not only us, doctors are there for them. Other countries are supporting us. So at the end, I would really like to say thank you for giving me this honor to speak here. And I want to thank to everyone who has supported me to come here. It's my 3rd time in the United States. And it wouldn't be without Jorge and Zev Shulkin and his beautiful wife and Ed and Liebman. There's a lot of people. So this has been an incredible experience. Thank you so much, and glory to Ukraine. Wait.
Wait. Okay. Hold it. Oh, we're doing a selfie.
Of course.
Hey. That's going to be in the National Magazine of Ukraine.
Can I have your consent to post this online?
Yes.
Perfect. Just in case,
Just in case.
Hi.
Hi.
Great, thank you.
Olga. Thank you. Oh, no, I don't want to.
Get a hug.
There you go. Get a hug. Where's Jorge? Can I get a hug?
Can you take a picture of us?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I need to straighten my hair up.
Me too.
Yeah.
One more.
One more. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Don't run off.
Okay.
Don't run off. Don't run off. First of all, again, thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. And I'd like to give you a challenge coin here that we have from the ARC. And we really, really appreciate it. Debbie, you wanted to come say something.
I wanted to personally thank Dr. Dusekic.
Just say Olga.
Olga and Dr. Corona for making the trip from Dallas and the Ukraine to honor us here at the ARC. You had such an inspiring story, and the efforts that you're making across the world in that war-torn country is just incredible. Thank you so much for your efforts on behalf of all of us here at the Army residence community. It's a privilege to have you here with us. Thank you so very much.
All right, let's have some questions. We've got a few minutes. We've got guys on each end here with a mic. Got one question over here.
How can we help?
Great question.
Great question.
David, if I can, I'll send you a link to the QR code.
Yes, absolutely.
Our like I mentioned earlier, we needed to find a focus area where we can help. And I think we found it by training and helping the younger Ukrainian doctors to come. One quick story, there's a young ophthalmologist, her name is Maria, and she is right now at the University of Oklahoma. The University of Oklahoma has a very special program in where they can train people without having all the USMLEs, all the exams. So they can bypass that, get a special permit from the university to be able to operate in the United States under the supervision and, of course, all the professors. So Maria is actually there right now. She's going to be there for a month. And this collaboration with Olga and all these young doctors goes back and forth. So we bring them here, we go there, we bring them here, we take them to Guatemala to also teach them surgeries. So we'll send the QR codes to Dave. And we're getting donations through LEAPS Foundation and Ed's Friends. So they are both 501c3 organizations in the United States, and all the funds are dedicated to help our Ukrainian friends.
All right, other question? You've got a question over here?
Thank you for the question.
John?
Olga, during World War II, Britain was kind of on its knees. It was fighting alone against Nazi Germany. They never lost, the morale stayed very high. Could you give us a perspective of the morale in Ukraine right now and what it is for the future?
Actually, Victor can tell that better than me. I could say one thing. I always have a question. What would you do if someone gets into your house? You're going to fight back. That's what we're doing. We're fighting for our home, and it gets hard. We have a lot of humor in it, fortunately or unfortunately, but we are helping each other. We are fighting for each other, and we got our backs. So the morale is that these guys who are at the front lines, they're doing their best, and they're doing even something more than best. They're like superheroes, because the war has changed from what you know about the warfare into the drone army. So Ukraine is now producing the new drones that have not been there ever. That Ukraine is evolving so much that, with all of the support, with everything, I know it's not on the news, but the guys at the front lines give us a possibility to go to the OR, to go to the restaurant, and keep the economy going. So it's not only about the guys at the front lines, it's about the resilience of the whole nation that came together at one point. So nobody expected it would be 4 years now. You've seen the video. It said 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks. It's been a month, 2, and we kind of started living it. So trust me, the morale is incredible. Everyone's invited to the victory party when we have it. But if you get to meet those people, our soldiers, our nurses, our doctors, just regular people, you'd be surprised.
We can have a field trip.
Oh, yeah, for the victory party.
Yeah. As far as the QR code, if you want a copy of it, email me and I'll make sure I send it. Have a question? Any questions over here? No?
Nope.
Look, got a question over here. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut anybody off.
Looks like
2 questions. All right.
Can I say, first of all, that our prayers are with you every day, even more so now after hearing what you have to say. As a nurse, I'm wondering how many hospitals do you have left, and do the nurses have someplace, those whose their workload has been bombed up, so to speak, do they have a place where they can go to help patients in different places?
Yes, so they do bomb hospitals, but we still have a lot of hospitals left. So the whole country is almost fully functioning. And if something gets destroyed, each hospital can take any nurse in. So we have doctors and nurses moving all around. We're helping with the sheltering, we're helping with housing. So we are supporting each other. So if I get a call from a friend of mine and she says, I need to find a job, then we keep on moving them to a hospital because we are very understaffed, unfortunately. And we still, our nurses are incredible. So, which is another thing is, so in United States, you have around 4 nurses per 1 surgeon. We have 4 surgeons per 1 nurse. So trust me, we cherish our nurses, and well, one of my nurses, she's incredible. I call her, she is the goddess of the OR. So if she tells you to throw out the trash, you throw out the trash.
She doesn't care whether you're a doctor or not.
No. If she asks you something, that's. So we treat them with very deep respect and love. So we try to help everyone.
All right, this is our last question over here. They'll stay around for a little bit if you want to come up. Go ahead, please. Bob?
All right, okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Olga, there's only one major harbor in Ukraine, and that's in Odessa. The Russians are trying desperately to take that harbor. What's going to happen when they take that one harbor in Odessa?
We'll kick them out.
Again, as a reminder, Robert and his wife made these.
Thank you, Robert, for putting these together. This has been incredible. And so I'm wearing the Ukrainian national shirt that you have one over here. So
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, again, thank you.
Thank you.
So if you want to, we're adjourned. If you want to come up and ask them any questions, please do so.
Robert, can you come here to take a picture by the posters?
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.